Have you ever wondered why humans are capable of thinking about things that do not exist in the physical world? Not just remembering or imagining familiar objects, but creating entirely new images, meanings, and ideas, things that have never existed in nature. Why can we imagine God, time, or infinity, things that cannot be measured, touched, or seen? No other living creature on this planet can do this. Dogs and chimpanzees do not reflect on the meaning of life, the boundaries of space, or what happens after death. Only humans can form hypotheses, fantasize, invent, and believe in things they have created. And perhaps our uniqueness lies not so much in intelligence, but in our ability to invent. Everything that surrounds us today, for example, the device you're watching this video on, once did not exist. Every technology, every object began as an idea. First, something appears in the mind, and only later does it become reality. We create in thought before we recreate in the physical world. Historian Yuval Noah Harari, in his book *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*, calls humans great storytellers who believe in their own inventions. How do you make millions of people believe in an imagined order, such as religion, democracy, or capitalism? Very simply, never admit that the order is imagined. Always insist that it is an objective reality, created by gods or by the laws of nature. The human brain is about 3 pounds of matter made up of billions of neurons. It operates through electrical impulses and chemical reactions. It can be studied, measured, and observed through MRI scans. Yet the thoughts produced by this brain have no weight, no shape, and no physical location. They cannot be fixed in space. So the question arises, if the brain is a physical object governed by biology and chemistry, how can it produce something immaterial? How does a material structure generate ideas, images, and meanings that do not exist in nature? What if the brain does not generate consciousness, but merely receives it, like an antenna or a phone picking up a signal? The signal itself is not inside the device. It only manifests through it. Perhaps consciousness works the same way, not as an internal product of the brain, but as something external that passes through it. Wherever you are, on a mountain peak, underwater, or in space, your awareness is always with you. It is not tied to a specific location. And perhaps this is the first hint that consciousness is not confined to the physical body. Many will argue that consciousness is simply the result of neural activity, electrical impulses, chemical reactions, activated brain regions. But when you smell coffee in the morning or suddenly recall a moment from your past, that experience is more than electrical signals, isn't it? It is subjective experience. You will never see joy or sadness on an MRI scan, only activity. Biology can explain how emotions occur, but not why they feel the way they do. It describes the mechanism, not the experience itself. Animals can feel and remember, but they do not write novels, debate the meaning of life, or dream of infinity. Only humans can experience what does not exist. Philosopher David Bentley Hart writes in The Experience of God that consciousness is not a random byproduct of evolution. It is a fundamental element of reality itself. Consciousness does not merely reflect the world. It actively reaches toward it, seeking meaning and asking questions. In simpler terms, consciousness is not a screen onto which reality is projected. It does not wait for signals. It moves, seeks, and demands understanding. Neurons do not search for meaning. Consciousness does. From this perspective, God is not an anthropomorphic figure watching from above. God is reality itself. Consciousness and reality are inseparable. like matter and space. If consciousness were merely a random function of the brain, reality itself would be meaningless. Who then could speak of randomness? Who would experience time, space, and existence? Consciousness could not have emerged from nothing. Perhaps matter itself is only possible because there is something that perceives it. Our awareness may be a small but clear trace of the force humanity has long called God. What if consciousness is not something humans possess, but rather humans are a form through which consciousness expresses itself? Not consciousness as a property of humans, but humans as a temporary expression of consciousness. Consciousness itself has no form. It cannot drink tea or press buttons. To interact with the physical world, it requires a body, and humans become that instrument. Personality is not just a name, memories, or character traits. It is a role, and consciousness is the one aware of playing that role. Perhaps this is the divine quality philosophers and religions have searched for, the ability to be aware, and to create. Using an analogy, God is the programmer, the human is the program, and consciousness is the code. The Bible says, "Let us make man in our image." Perhaps this means the Creator made creators. A skeptic might say, "Obviously my body is me," but what if all your memories were transferred into another body? Would you still be you? What defines you? Your body, your memories, or something else? Perhaps the answer lies in awareness itself, the ability to observe, not just to think, but to know that you are thinking. Everything else can change, body, name, voice, but the inner observer remains. It is not bound by age, place, or form. And in that sense, it is remarkably similar to God, beyond time and matter. Consciousness is like a signal. The body is like a device. When the device breaks, the signal does not disappear. Perhaps you are not the body, but what manifests through it. Consciousness does not activate instantly at birth. It arrives gradually, like dawn. And this remains a mystery. If consciousness were merely a brain function, why doesn't it operate immediately? Perhaps consciousness is not born, but waits until the body becomes capable of receiving it. Consciousness is not thoughts or emotions. It is the silence in which they appear, the light in which they become visible. Consciousness is you. Everything else is a role, a scene, a form. And if consciousness existed only for survival, why would it contain so much beauty? Why music, art, tears, and awe? It does more than help us live. It gives life meaning. Consciousness creates meaning where none existed, and perhaps that is its true power, not survival, but the reason life is worth living at all.